Do 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 do. Am I live? Somebody tell me, can you hear me? Hey everybody, it's Mike Meyers. Can you hear me meow? Hear you just fine. All right, woo, okay. Let's get this party started. For some reason I have flies in my house. How fun is that? What do we got going here? Hey everybody, it's Mike Meyers. It's the first of 2021. Gosh, even saying 2021 sounds like science fiction discussion. This is the Mike Meyers Ask Mike Anything live stream. The goal of this live stream is to provide those of us who are isolated by the coronavirus an opportunity to continue our studies on CompTIA certifications. So we concentrate mainly on A+, Net+, and Security+, but we can certainly go outside of that. Along with that, we have lots of technical discussions that we bring up from time to time, usually about once a week or so. Also, we have lots of days like this, which are just kind of general purpose days. So the name of this live stream is Ask Mike Anything, and that's how this works. So you ask me questions and I answer them. So in order to ask me questions, you can go ahead and just type them right here into the chat window here on YouTube. Or if you'd prefer, you can send me an email, and here's my contact information. Just send me an email to michaelm@totalsem.com. And especially if you have what you perceive as a more complicated question, feel free to send it that way. Also, if you're a gamer, particularly on Steam, I'm Senor Pepe. And when in doubt, I'm Des Weds at just about everything. So anyway, that's how this works. So we start at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, and we go until 4 o'clock or until the questions run out. So it's really up to you guys as to how long we talk, because you guys have to ask me questions and I'll answer them. As usual, I got my buddy Scott Jernigan out there helping me today. Yep, is Scott there? Scott's there. Okay, fantastic. And I'm getting a weird reverb, guys. Hello? Do I sound good to you guys? Okay. Okay, I'm sorry guys, let me get this sound dealt with. Okay, Scott's here. Everybody says sound is good. I'm going to quit worrying about it. All right. I can hear it here, so it's something local on my end. What are we talking about? Okay, so first of all, just because you guys are nice enough to show up today, we have some special offers for you. Today's offer is... Let me pull it up for you. All right, so this week's offer, which is good for today and Wednesday, is 50% off all A+, Net+, and Security+, Total Tester, and A+, Net+, Total Testers simulation bundles. Our simulations are the performance-based questions. We actually sell those separately from the practice questions because people learn them differently. Anyway, in order to take advantage of this 50% off deal, all you got to do is go to www.totalsem.com, head over to our merchant area, fill that card up with lots of fat A+, Net+, and Security+ loot, and just before you check out, be sure to type in the code 010421, and you get half off of everything, which is ridiculous because I'm already about the cheapest of the good quality practice questions out there, and you get those at half off. Our prices are insane. So, all right. Also, do keep in mind, guys, if you like this, please subscribe to the Total Seminars channel. That really, really helps. I know I sound like a YouTube channel. Oh, I am a YouTube channel. Also, be sure to give us a up check if you like what you see. And if you give us a down check, just don't. All right, let's see if we have any questions here. Oh, Ingress. Yes, I used to play Ingress. I've quit. I was a Smurf. I was the blue team, the Resistance. That's right. It was Resistance. I got up to level 15. And I could never quite get to 16. I didn't have enough achievements, and I got frustrated, and I quit playing Ingress. Tried playing, Ingress is based, so Pokemon Go is basically based on Ingress. It's Niantic, same company and everything. And I just could not get into Pokemon Go. I'm sorry, it just, not my thing. Like all my buddies sitting there, throwing Pokemon balls at these things. It's craziness. So I am not playing anything, but yes, I was playing Ingress for quite a while. In fact, I'm desperate for a game on my phone. I got a Sudoku, which I play Sudoku a lot. Don't laugh at me, but I got one of those paint by number apps. I know, it's zen. And I try all these other games, and that's all like they're all trying to sell me the same game. Invariably, it's like take 3 things and push them together to make one thing. There's like 7,000 of those games. And then there's all these weird city building games, which really aren't city building, and they're all pay to win. So, if you guys got any good game ideas out there, please let me know. All right. Okay, well, I hope everybody had a good holiday. I certainly did. Nice and quiet for me, which is the way I tend to like these things. I am officially, now that the vaccine is starting to show up, I'm starting to get paranoid. So I've locked down hard. I am in my fortress of solitude. I have food delivered through a slot in the door. Okay, maybe not quite that bad, but I'm in my fortress of solitude until I get the vaccine. So I'm going to be, if you want to talk to me, this is about the only way it's going to be happening for probably about 30 to 60 days is my guess. I'm just, it's so close. I want to get the vaccine. Sorry, hold on. What else do we got going on today? Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything critical. I am going to look for questions here in just a minute. Bear with me, guys. Oh, that was the other thing. I am legitimately looking for help. And I'm looking for people who have good presentation skills. I'd like to to be a fellow nerd, but I am legitimately looking for people to help me. I am soliciting for a full-time job. I'm not kidding here, folks. And it is a little bit of a cattle call, but I got like almost no resumes from this channel. I was like, did you guys all just choose that you weren't good enough to even try to apply for this job? I think we need to have another discussion about why people aren't getting work. But do be aware that, I am looking for presenters who will, and actually at first you will present with me. So you literally be on camera with Mike Meyers himself. So you'll get, I'm looking for people who are comfortable in front of a camera, who have some degree of bilateral symmetry, and I'd like to see tech skills, but to be honest with you, tech skills are secondary at this point in the game. So get out there and send some information to me. Scott, where do they send that information to? I forgot already. Andre Raven Knight, are you serious? Of course I'm serious. Yeah, I think Cameron was the only person I remember getting it from. I'll apply if you create work from job home. I can't afford plane tickets. Well, first of all, Zach, if somebody got this job and they were doing presentations with me, I would pay for them to fly here, and I would pay for their hotel, and that's kind of that kind of a thing. Alice Potsy. See, there you go, Alice. You never know. Alice, you never know. Andre, Alice, same thing. Probably not quite looking in the EU, but I'm not going to give up on anybody, So do keep those things in mind. Raven Knight, are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. Chris Arkwright, already working full-time. You've partly done. Yeah, Chris, it's, especially for some of these presentation things where we do the videos like in a 2-week window. So, stuff to think about. Ari M, shout out to Mike. You and me passed the Security Plus. Well done, Ari. Well done, sir. Fortress is introversion. That is absolutely me. Armix NFAK. We support about, this is what I get for scrolling backwards through a chat window. Armix NFAK. We support about 100 different domain servers and clients. Is there a solution to manage all domains just with a single username and password? We're small enough that we don't actually have to deal with enterprise level domain management. So what am I using these days? I use third-party tools for that kind of stuff. Hang on. Let me pull this up for you. So to be honest with you, right now for domain controls, I use a third-party solution called Namecheap. Namecheap does an absolutely amazing job of controlling all my domain. I can log in with a single username and password, and it allows me highly granular control. We configure DNSSEC, we configure mail, secure mail serving. I mean, so TXT files and things like that a lot of consumer level DNS controllers don't have. The downside, Armix, is that I don't know where all of your domains are sitting right now. There are probably third-party tools that could interface with tools like Namecheap, but I'm unaware of those. Total Seminars collectively, between what we use for courses, plus what we use for the company itself, plus what a lot of us have privately. I have about 12 domains that I just keep for funsies. We're under 20, so not a big demand for that. Green is better. Just looking for questions, guys. Dominic Malo, hey, I took your Net Plus last year. This is 204. I took your Net Plus class last year, and now I'm working on CCNA, taking it tomorrow. You're taking your CCNA tomorrow? Good luck, man. I feel like your course prepped me well for the next step. I completely agree. Okay, also here, Scott, what is Shannon's email address? Scott Jernigan's going to give us Shannon Lemur. Oh, God, it's not even Lemur anymore. I forget. She's the person you need to send these resumes to. Guys, it's a real job. I'm shocked that every single one of you isn't submitting me a resume. Okay, I'm scrolling up to the top because I'm worried I'm missing questions. Edward's here. Edward, guys, do we need to have a separate camera while exam, or the one on my notebook is okay? Almost certainly the one on your notebook is okay, but you need to check that ahead of time. Just go to onvue, onvue.com, and you can test out all your hardware before you do anything. Is it onvue.com or is it onvue.net? I always get in trouble on that one. Onvue.com worked just fine. All right. Tolowit, 147. You guys are on early. Mike should do an in-depth monitor day, hitting on all the resolutions, IPS, response time, curved versus flat connectors, and the like. Monitor shopping for fun and knowledge. All right, well, Tolowit, my question to you would be is, do you want a monitor course that covers A+, or do you want a monitor course that would get you up to speed to buy monitors? Because that is two very different courses, to say the least. I don't feel that the A+ is very updated right now, especially on a lot of the new forms of LED technologies that are out there. I mean, they got like OLED on there, but a lot of QLED, things like that are missing. But we could easily do that. And actually, Scott Jernigan loves monitors. So if we did a monitor day, I'd probably ask Scott to jump in with me. Scott's he's a lot more into monitors than I am. These days for me, if it's 4K and it's IPS and I've got a a refresh rate that can at least punch 120, I'm happy. I know there's a lot more, but those are the things that make me interested in. I'd like to, yeah, here, Scott Jernigan's literally saying it. I'm the monitor geek in the office. Yeah, we'll get Scott in on that. There's Ingress discussion. I must not have missed too much then. Geocaching. Yay. Cameron Boyd's here. It's all the wacky kids are here. Jim Barham, question, any plans of developing Linux Plus content? I don't see anything available on your site. At this point, no. Jim, I got to be honest with you. My bandwidth between A+, Net Plus, and Security Plus eats up pretty much all of my time. I'm not saying no to anything, though. So that's the reason why we haven't done it. Whoever gets a job with me, might have to talk about Linux Plus. Do you consider this a good certification to get? Yes, I do. Linux Plus is a good cert. Geraldine Funes, I passed my A+ core. Well done. Dave Rush. Oh, there's Dave Rush. No, Dave, my YouTube audio has been down the entire time. I don't know what it is. Cameron, what is your profile pic on Steam? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I forgot. I think it's a little tiny icon of me in silhouette wearing an iPhone. It's an old ad that Apple did like 10 years ago. Brandon Kiley, Mike, I just got done with a phone interview. I have a video interview for Help Desk tomorrow. Way to go, Brandon. Get a job, brother. And don't stop getting certified. Just because you get your first little Help Desk job, you're going to be moving forward from there, man. So keep on keeping on. But congratulations. Well done, sir. Jim Baron, what certification you say is the most impressive for applying for a system admin job? If it's a true system admin, it would be whatever you're administering. I'd be looking towards the Microsoft system administration for Windows certs, if you were looking towards Windows. For Linux, probably Linux Plus, LPI, something like that. Dominic, oh, we got that one, okay. RuneScape. Bomber Grounds, these are real games. Here, I'm going to write these down so I don't forget. Don't go giving me any game that's got scantily clad women. I'm not anything against that. It's just that it seems to be a ripoff. Zach Morrill, I'll apply if you create a work from home job. I can't afford plane tickets. You never know, Zach. You never know. Maven Feliciano, hey Mike, any routers that you recommend? For what? What do you want to do with this router? Right now, I've been having a lot of fun in the home router market with the Asus X. I forgot the number of them, and it's all buckled up in a wall now. I can't look them up easily. What is? Hang on. So I'm assuming you just said router, so I'm assuming you mean home routers. Yeah. So right now, I'm having a little bit of a nerd affair with the Asus RT AX88U. It's a nice little 802.11ax 4x4 wireless, great bandwidth, a lot of control features. Pretty cool little box. Sub $300. Jim, you're working for Microsoft. I could never meet their medical. Oh, you live in Canada. Ooh, what is the salary? Make an application. We'll talk about salary. Philip Thomas. Hey, Mike, what's your opinion on the SolarWinds attack? Pretty clever. I finally did some real research on it, and it's a bad one. I've seen worse. It seems to be fairly easily remediated as far as we can tell. And it's always bad when you see people like SolarWinds. Really are a good company for making network monitoring tools. If you haven't tried SolarWinds, guys, you need to try it. It's all web-based, and they have a little demo tool you can install and play with. It's wonderful. I even mention it in my Security Plus book. Their salespeople are a little bit aggressive, but that's about the worst thing I can say about them. But no, I think it's being remediated quickly. Aldef Jeff, does our profile on LinkedIn count as our resume, or should we build a separate one? Look, Aldef, we're not going to go hunt you down. You understand? If people aren't motivated enough to come to us with something via an email, I'm sure that's probably not even what you're saying, Aldef. If you feel that your resume on LinkedIn is a powerful indicator of who you are and what you are, then go for it. So sure, why not? But do keep in mind, it's Scott. Can you put that email up there one more time? It's you can just send this to Shannon at my office. Also, where can we get resume advice? Aldef, we did about 5 months ago, we did some wonderful how to make resumes right here on the Total Seminars channel. Those videos are still there. Just look up resume, do a search on our channel. You can go to the top, do a quick search, and go ahead and watch those videos. I think we did a great job on, how to put a resume together. But then, Aldef, if you don't have enough answers after watching that video, then come back in here and ask me some questions. Alice, bye-bye Linux Plus. Ulysses Farrar, how's my peeps? We're good. Brandon Kiley, just looking for questions. Here we go, Guillermo. 2:17 p.m. Question. I am having trouble understanding the difference between registers and caches in a CPU. Can you explain, please? Thank you. Sure. Hang on. Yeah, let's do that. Inside a CPU, your registers are storage areas that we do the math in. So like, in order to add 2 plus 3 in a CPU, the actual machine language will say something like, put the number 2 into the, we'll call it, these registers have names like AX, BX, CX, DX. They're more complicated than that, but let's keep it simple for right now. It says, put the number 2 in the AX register. And then you'll say, put the number 3 in the BX register. And then to add them, you say, add whatever is in BX to AX and store the answer in AX. That's how the manipulations are done. It's with the registers. So without the registers, we don't have that workspace, that piece of paper. Hello, kitty. That piece of paper to actually do the machine language code to add, multiply, divide, shift, all those things that are what make CPUs work. If you ever get a chance, you should look at assembler programming. Assembler is machine language. All CPUs have some form of this assembler language. It is the most primitive, basic language there is. And if you look at this language, it'll say, go to this place in memory, find a number, bring that number in and put it in the AX register. And so you actually see how these registers are used within the command itself. And by the way, you'd be surprised how easy it is to understand assembler if you get a chance. It's very cool. A cache is a different animal altogether. Your CPU moves very, very quickly, right? Billions of times per second. And your RAM can't run as fast as your CPU. Now, it's very fast, don't get me wrong, but it's, 2, 3, 5, 10 times slower than RAM. So what RAM has built inside of it are these things called caches. Caches are RAM, all right? And the idea behind a cache is that if your CPU needs something, it should be able to go to the cache and not go to the RAM. Every time your CPU has to go to RAM to get data, it slows down tremendously. So we build these caches into the CPU itself to prevent the CPU from having to make calls out to RAM. But a cache is just RAM, okay? Don't think, it's in no way is it functionally like a register. What's kind of cool about a cache is that on a modern CPU, which has 3 levels of cache, level 1, which is very small and very fast, level 2, which is about, I don't know, generally 5 to 10 times bigger than level 1 and about half the speed of level 1, and then level 3, which is another 5 to 10 times bigger, and that usually runs at the speed of your motherboard. These caches, if they're properly used, your CPU almost never goes to RAM, at least as a percentage of clicks of the clock. Of course, it's going to go to RAM. You got a Excel spreadsheet stored in RAM, is going to have to go to it. But most of the calculations, assuming the cache is done well, and they are done well, the CPU itself doesn't go out to RAM. Now, the cache may go out to RAM. In fact, a lot of caches, what they have today is what's known as a prefetch. And they'll see the code that's being run, okay? And they will grab all that code from RAM and throw it into a cache. And while it's running, it will look in the code, and it's doing this before the code's actually run. And it'll run through the code and it'll say, oh, here's an if statement. You know, if last name equals Mike, then go to blah, 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 which would be another place in RAM. It will on its own, go out to RAM and start grabbing this other branch in case you might go that way. Remember, it's not actually calculating it. It's just getting a memory location and grabbing it. That way, when the CPU gets to this, if last name equals Meyers or whatever the conditional thing is, if it is true, then it already has it in cache. How cool is that? So registers are more just like the where we actually do the number crunching. Cache is just super fast RAM that pulls stuff out of our regular RAM and makes it ready for the CPU to use. And so very different animals. Guillermo M., another question. Should I keep using my ISP router or buy an aftermarket high-end one? Thanks. Again, Guillermo, are you talking for home use? Most people, if possible, you do not want to use the router that your ISP gives you. Here in the United States, for example, is that they will charge you rent for that router. And it's here in the United States, it's $5, $10 a month. So here in the States, I always tell people, if you can, get yourself, sorry guys, I'm literally turning on the air conditioning. It's up to 75 here in Houston. Whew, it was getting hot. So you could go out and buy a router for like cable modems or DSL, which we still have around here in the States. And then you can save that money. And there's plenty of very good routers out there to do that. But not everybody can do that. So like, for example, here in my house, I have fiber coming in. And at least as of right now, I am unaware of any routers that I can buy which have fiber coming in one side and RJ45 coming out the other side. I'm sure they're en route, and I'm sure if I looked around, I'd find them. But in that case, I'm just going to use what I'm given. And that router has a lot of limitations that I find irritating. If you go back, I actually did a how to block ads video about 3 weeks ago, and we were talking about some of the DNS limitations in that router. But yeah, if you can get one, get it. But now you say something, but Guillermo, you say something that confuses me. Because then you say, should I keep using my ISP router or buy an aftermarket high-end one? I mean, no one would ever buy a low-end one. I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by low-end. Okay. Sorry. I always tell people to email me, and so I got to watch my phone in case somebody's emailing me. Okay. When you're looking for a router, what you're mainly looking for more than anything else is feature set for the router is going to be one thing, which isn't that hard to get anymore, even on a cheaper router. And then secondarily is how good of the Wi-Fi. Now, if you don't want your router to have Wi-Fi, if you want to do your own Wi-Fi, like start putting up your own wireless access points or something, you could do that. But for most people, particularly in a world of 802.11ac and 802.11ax, the amount of coverage you get on a single home router with Wi-Fi is pretty good. And the days of running cable backbone so you could run a wireless access point upstairs or one to the garage is, I'm not saying it's over, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. So usually in the home router world, you're going to be paying somewhere between $80 to about $300. That's always going to be there. And usually what's happening is in that $250 to $300 range, that can actually even go up a little bit from there, is usually when there's a new technology coming out, in particular a new version of Wi-Fi. So like 6 months ago, when we started to see the first versions of 802.11ax home routers come out, the higher end ones, the ones that had a lot of channel, 4x4, which to me is a bare minimum anymore for Wi-Fi, unless you're using mesh or something like that. We're in the 325 range. The same routers I bought for 325 6 months ago are, what's the price one? I am curious. RT-AX88U. See? RT-AX88U. Let's see what they're down to now. Oh, okay, you got to be careful where you buy them. But I can... Oh, there's different versions of RTX88U. Which one's mine? Hang on a second. Okay, looking quickly, I think this is 80XU. All right. Still $350. No, that's a little spendy. But then keep in mind, part of the you could buy a perfectly good AC router, 4x4 AC router for half that price. Definitely, yeah. But outside of that, the other things that people start looking for in home routers are like a lot of home routers can act as N8 network attached storage. You can plug USB drives into it, and then everybody can have access to them. Silly stuff like that. I don't think that's worth it. Personally, I know a lot of people who use a lower end PC, install Linux on it, run a router software on there, and use that as their primary router. So lots of different ways to handle that one. And just be careful what you mean by low end versus high end. Michael Reeves, what would be, sorry kids, what would be ideal tools for a home network? A good mind, a sheetrock saw, number 2 Phillips screwdriver. I'm always terrified when people are like, oh, what tools do I need to buy? Because then you go out and buy all these tools and you don't even know how to use the tools. For home networking, honestly, sure, let's do this. You ready? Here's what Mike would have for home networking. So, number 1, I'm assuming you've got some cable in your house. So I would want a pair of Cat 6A capable crimpers. I'd want a bag full of Cat 6A crimps. I'd want about half a case of Cat 6 cable laying around. I'd want a good cable tester. The Fluke micro scanner is very, very good, but it's $400. A 110 punch down tool, flashlight. Then the rest of everything else would be like wireless testers and stuff like that. Most of those are free and you can put them on your phone. So yeah, I guess there's my answer for you. Oh, the other thing I'd have is at least 100-foot piece of patch cable. So you got 100 feet and there's RJ45 on each end. Can't tell you how many times you get frustrated. There's something wrong with your infrastructure and you're like, you plug into your switch at home and you bail out 100 feet of cable so you could sit somewhere with a laptop or, whatever it is that isn't working, that you can sit here and go, okay, I'm running cabled, but I'm not running wireless. What's the problem? So that would be some of the tools. Tolowitz still loves his Ubiquity routers. Nothing wrong with those. I like the Ubiquities. My big thing is that I've been spending before 6 months ago, I was running Ubiquities here too. I just play with stuff and I just get different opinions on things. You guys in your Microrix, I've never actually played with one of those. And I know I should. Tony Healy. Dun, dun, dun. Tony Healy, yeah. All right. Hey, Mike, I passed 1,001 weeks ago and I'm studying for 1,002. Good. Thank you for the content. You're welcome. In your opinion, what do we need to focus on the most? Tony, at this point, you should be just running practice questions, dude. There's nothing most. You should be running practice questions at this point in the game and just seeing what you don't know and studying reactively. You don't want to do that with the 1001. SD Ronan, well, I got that Security Plus. SD Ronan, you should be looking for a job full time. If you've already got a job, that's great. But now I have to carve a path towards employment. Okay, yeah, SD Ronan, I'd be concentrating on getting a job more than anything else. Alan Wills, any Security Plus practice questions you'd recommend outside your own? No. I really like my Security Plus practice questions. Cyber Vista. Check out Cyber Vista. They've got some pretty good Security Plus practice questions. It's always a good idea to have more than one source of practice questions. Ryan Holzman. Hello, Mike. Love your videos and books. Keep it up. Will do. What do you love the most about IT and working with technology? What do I love most? To slay my opponents before me and to hear the lamentations of their women and children. I don't know. I've always kind of lived the world of sort of a hardware systems geek more than anything else. So I love the smell of new electronics in the morning. Popping open a plastic bag of whatever it is and plugging it in. I like what I don't know. I'm always, you never stop being hungry in this business, ever. Not even for a minute. I've never become so complacent in my knowledge of any aspect of IT that I felt I could slow down and not study hard. I study every day on something. Baby Melvin, it's the tech guy, Mike Meyers, taking your CompTIA Plus. All right, brother. Everybody's telling Alice would be a better looking presenter than me. Come on. J. Von Andion. Thank you, Mike. Would love to work with you, but I am in the UK. I love the way you guys literally turn off your own abilities to get a job. It is fascinating to me. Jim Arrow, how many people work with you, Mike? How large is your team? About 12. Plus outside contractors would probably take it up to about, depending on how you look at these things, 20, 25. Brandon Kiley, I asked a question about LinkedIn. I decided to make one. Good for you. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Brandon, you were talking when, that was, we can do this. When Jessica Dickerson was on, talking about interesting job websites. And she did mention that you just have to have a LinkedIn, you have to have a LinkedIn account. So yeah, there you go, man. You saw it work. SD Ronan, with CompTIA stackable certifications, can you assist in breaking down that rabbit hole? Is stackable still a thing? I don't know. I've never really understood the whole stackable concept. I'm not going to sit here and try to sell you. I don't work for CompTIA, and I like CompTIA, but sometimes I don't like CompTIA. I don't really see the benefit of it. I'll tell you what. You're not the first person to ask me this question. I'm going to research this carefully. And I will have an answer for you on Monday. Jan Slayer, when does the new Security Plus book come out? In about 2 months, it'll be on shelves. In the meantime, if you're looking to study, you can always get the Security Plus Passport book from my good friend Dr. Dawn Dunkerley. Excellent book. I just finished reading it myself. Obviously, this is a passport book, so it's more of a compressed style than my book is. And Scott Jernigan's my co-author on that. And but it is out if you don't want to slow you down from your goals. Edward, did you know that the most common operating system in the world is Minix 3? It is embedded into all Intel CPUs. I did not know that. I'm going to look this up. So you always have to be careful with things like this, especially when you're in my position. I can't just sit here and say, oh, you're right. I will say, that's interesting. Very interesting. Just looking for questions, guys. Jim Brown, what do I think of Trend Micro AI protection? I don't know. It's I'm not so much worried about the privacy. I'm worried about what they're going to charge for it down the path. And again, Jim, for me, I'm just such an old school person. If you're really at a point where you're on a home router and you're looking for more aggressive router solutions like that, you probably ought to stop thinking about home routers, and you probably ought to start moving up a click to more expensive but more powerful router solutions, because it's a little bit too much Big Brother for it's. Well, I guess you're kind of saying the same thing. Privacy. Yes, I'm very concerned about privacy with those two. Thacmo, can't you just buy a fiber switch that converts fiber to Ethernet and use them in the present power station? We use it. Could I? I could, yeah. Actually, I could. Would that cause any problems? I've actually never tried that at home. I mean, with an old school switch or something, that probably wouldn't be that hard to do. But I'd be nervous about doing it on a router. Shouldn't make any difference, though. Yeah. James Stackpole, I think the FCC requires it. Yeah, they do require it. Yeah, they have dropped that. I think they have. Yeah, I'm old-fashioned. What can I say? Alex, Mike, I'm currently a junior software engineer, taking a cybersecurity program which provides A+, Linux Plus, Net Plus, Security Plus. What fields are there that I can blend programming and IT? Well, Alex, I mean, programming is IT. They fit together one and the same. To be a pure programmer as opposed to maybe systems administration, network architecture, security, all of those have some aspect of programming in it. The other thing, Alex, is we're always hiring programmers to write all kinds of software for IT, from SIEM to SOAP to just regular old router software and VoIP and VP. Those are all software that have to be written by somebody. So what fields are there? All the fields, Alex. To be a fairly good programmer, and you wouldn't even have to be that good at that many languages. If you could jump between Python and JavaScript, say, and then have a good core technology understanding, let's say the equivalent of an A+ and Net Plus, you're going to be in demand, heavily in demand. So what I would be harder pressed, I would say this to you: there isn't a place where you couldn't apply for a job. There isn't a place where you couldn't apply for a job. You're almost asking me, Mike, show me all the different ways I can do a checkmate in chess. I'm so overwhelmed trying to come up with an answer for you that I'm a little bit blocked up. So, if you're a junior software engineer now, you're looking to go into cybersecurity, A+, Linux Plus, Net Plus, Security Plus. Man, Alex, I want you to do me a favor. Alex, I want you to send me an email, please, please, please. My email address is michaelm@totalsem.com. I want to hear about this program you're in. I want to hear about this cybersecurity program. I'm extremely curious. Would you please send me an email, Alex? I'd like to see. I really enjoy all aspects of computers and technology. Don't want to limit myself to the programming side. Why not? In terms of the lowest level of people in a infrastructure, it's usually the programmers, the ones who make the most money. Understanding how systems work so that you can write code to make those systems work better. Every switch, every managed switch, every router, every box, every wireless access point, everything, they all have code in them, and they come from somebody. It might as well be you. Excuse me. Come here, kitty. Come here. There she is. Margo was literally scratching on my leg. Is this what you wanted? Miss Big Purr? This is Margo, guys. All right, what else we got going on here? She's only going to stay up here for about 15 more seconds. What is it, kitty? What is it, kitty? You gonna help me find some more questions? You ready to go down? Okay. Yeah, I hear you, Kat. Jamie Richardson, hi Mike, hope had a great New Year's. Jamie, hope you did too. Scott says I missed a question from Jane Slayer. Question, if you were to start over and all you had was A+, Net+, Security+, Certs, all I had, I'd be well on my way if I had just those three and nothing else. What would you do? I would quickly get hired. I would quickly be employed. Are you asking me what job would I do? I'm not that picky. Assuming I'm not employed, right? I would probably grab, based on my own thing, I'm more of a systems guy. I'm very comfortable with security because I don't want people to jack with my stuff. But to do as a pure security person, I think I'd be bored. I like system architecture. I like designing networking systems and wireless access point placement and picking the right operating systems, supporting the right kind of racks for the programmers and the apps people. I'd probably end up at Amazon, honestly. They would work me to death, but the experience is unreal. And yes, I would move to wherever I had to move to get that job. Big Matt. Hello, everyone. Hello, Big Matt. Ishmael. Hello, Mike. How's it going? Going good, Ishmael. May I call you Ishmael? Nobody likes my humor as much as me, dude. There you go. Andres, he's got the tools he needs. Tolowit, the smell of a new motherboard, the taste of a new RAM stick, the roar of the crowd. What is best in life? Thank you for quoting me properly there, Scott. I was doing Conan, man. I swear, I'm going to put Alice Potsy on here, man. You guys all talking to her. Dave L., good evening, Mike. I have heard that processes in Windows are virtual containers where an application is in threads. Dave L., I'm going to disagree. I do not feel that processes in Windows are virtual containers. They're not. Windows just about invented the concept of process, and they are running at, well, depending on the process, they either run at ring 0 or ring 3 on an Intel processor. But no, the Windows does not make containers by default. You can certainly do containerization in Windows, but it's not intrinsic to the operating system. Or if it is, it's something new that I haven't heard about. Threads, memory. But let's not even worry about that for a minute, okay? So here, we can make this really easy. You have all of these applications that are sitting on your hard drive, okay? Microsoft Word, but you also have applications like a DHCP client, all these other things that are sitting on your computer. When they're fired up, anything that's sitting on your hard drive, when you start that program, got it? It becomes a process. So a process is the same code that you see on the hard drive, except now it's in RAM and it's accessible by the CPU, okay? So everything is a process. Microsoft Word is a process. DHCP client is a process. Everything is a process. There's no exception to that. One more time. Everything is a process. Services, certainly within the scope of Microsoft Windows, are processes which are generally utilities that are used exclusively by the operating system. So, So when we run services, let's see if this works. I always hate it when I do this. Yeah, okay, whew. All right. So here I am running services in Windows. All of these services, these are all processes. They're all processes. It's just that they're processes that generally don't have any manifestation of a window or anything like that, and they're used by the application itself. I'm sorry, by the operating system itself. And you can see only a certain number of these are running. I've got tons of services on here that I'm not using. Honestly, if you ask me, it looks like there's about 200 of these. I'll bet I could name at most 25. So that gives you an idea there. So a service is just a process that's running. Sometimes you hear the term in the background, but even that doesn't necessarily hold true all the time. So I'm curious why you say that all applications run as a virtualized. I want to make sure. I'm never going to be able to find your question again. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to skip it because I don't know. I lost it, sorry. Chris Arkwright. I have the A+, Net Plus, and Security Plus stackable cert, referred to as a CSIS. Yeah, Chris, I don't have all of these stackable certs memorized, and more importantly, I don't know exactly what they do. You're not losing anything by getting A+, Net Plus, and Security Plus. Do these stackable things mean anything? I'm going to be honest with you, I don't hear it used much. I hear A+, Net Plus, and Security Plus all the time. Christian Von Wick, 2:44 p.m. Got done with your 1001. Get ready for 1002. Good luck, Christian. Do it, man. Alan Wills, do you have any non-IT hobby skills you like to develop? I play Middle Eastern drums. I used to build siege weapons. I'm constantly working on this house, so home ownership. Trying to get my hot tub temperature the right temperature. Hey, I'm a bachelor. I got a hot tub. That's about it. Looking for questions. Andy STL. Hi, Mike and Scott. CompTIA changed some of the terms on the Security Plus 501. Man trap to access control vestibule, man in the middle on path attack, whitelist. So, Andy, I didn't know about this. Are you telling me that the Security Plus 501 has been updated? Scott Jernigan, can you please, like right away, download the latest version of the Security Plus 501 and see if there's been some updates? I can tell you that the Security Plus 601 went through like 4 updates, well, 3 updates. And CompTIA certainly has the right to do that anytime they want. But Andy, I did not know that. And the thing is now with the new Security Plus out, there's not a lot of motivation for us to make changes for something that's only going to last for 5 more months. Pretty sure. Andy, we're going to take a look at that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Let me write that one down too. If the changes were massive, then we would make some adjustments. Michael Reeves, even like making my own cables. I like making my own cables too, Michael. Okay, guys, okay. I forgot that they had legislation here in the United States that now makes it unable for ISPs to charge for routers. Actually, I'm not even sure that that's 100% accurate. I think what they made was legislation that said they can't charge you for routers unless you're actually using one of their routers. What I had heard is that a lot of ISPs here in the United States were charging people a router surcharge even if people were not using their router. So somebody want to look that up and give me a link, and let's see what the right answer is. And I'm not talking about a salon.com. I need a technical article that actually believes. Dylan Coopin at 2:46. How are we doing on time? We're not that bad. For me being 15 minutes behind, that's not bad. How many years does a new series of A+ be released? Anyone? So Dylan, generally, because of ISO 27000 certifications, they're released about every 3 years. And that's true, Dylan, that's not true just for A+. That's true for literally almost any IT certification in existence. They all last about 3 years. Maven Feliciano, I am confused between routers and modems. Okay. Just got cable internet with the box. So, all right. So what you have probably, a modem is actually a terrible word. Modem stands for modulator demodulator. It comes from the old dial-up days. And what that actually did would take an incoming, gosh, it's been so long. It's probably better I don't remember all this stuff. It would take an analog signal that was coming from your telephone line and convert it into a serial digital signal. And that's what modems did, stood for modulator demodulator. Then pretty much everything went digital over 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And so the whole concept of modems disappeared. And what we ended up having instead were what were really known as terminal adapters. So that box you get from the cable company is usually, you'll hear the word terminal adapter, but what it really is it is a router, and that it converts a what's called a DOCSIS, D-O-C-S-I-S, a DOCSIS signal to an Ethernet signal. And that's what routers are very, very good at, is that they can convert one type of signal to another type of signal, because inside those DOCSIS packets are IPs, and inside the Ethernet are IPs, and they just convert those very, very easily. So the best thing to say, first of all, is there is no such thing as a modem anymore. There's a few small situations where you'll see, particularly with DOCSIS, that people will have a little box. And this box is usually a little more than a glorified splitter for your television. And I guess in a way you could look at that as a terminal adapter, but even that's kind of weak. It would almost be more like a multiplexer because it splits a signal. This is one of these things could end up taking a long time to answer your question, Maven. I'm nervous I won't be able to get it. So let's try to just answer your question. Just got cable internet with box. Maven, you must have a box when you get cable internet. It is impossible to not have a box. So now my first question to you is, what does this box look like? Does it have an F connector on one end, a threaded connector? And then on the other side, is there RJ45? Maybe this box has wireless. Does it have WPA2 settings printed on the outside? You'd have to be able to answer me many, many more questions before I could answer that one better for you. You review the videos. Why does the router not connect? Why do you say the router doesn't connect? Maven, you say the router doesn't connect. How do you know that? Why? What happens? So Maven, I got to tell you, here guys, hold on a minute. Maven, I want you to get on. There is a Discord channel that Jose and a bunch of these other folks are running. This Discord channel is active usually after every time I give a talk or after Dave Rush gives a talk. It is a much better place to ask the questions than what we're trying to do here. Because there at the Discord channel, you can ask your question in real time, and then you'll have many people who can help you there, not just me. So, Maven, please, can somebody please put up the link for the channel, for the Discord channel? Okay, can somebody put up a link for the Discord channel for Maven, please? Maven, just watch the chat. They're going to put up a link for you, and you really need to go over there. All the guys are, Tolowit's a little weird, but everybody else is okay. Eddie Lagos, Mike Myers is a process. Yeah, it's me. Margo's, yes, that is exactly it. Margo just wanted some lovin's. She, about once an hour, she's like, hello, pick me up and pet me, and then she jumps and leaves. Jim Brown, which certification do you hold was the most challenging to achieve? Most challenging to achieve. Gosh. Active? CYSA Plus, probably. Surprised me how technical it was. I failed it the first time I took it. All right, did somebody put that link up for Maven? Fantastic. Maven, there's a link up there. Scott Jernigan put it up for you. You need to show up when we're done talking. We're only going to be on up till 4 o'clock Central Time, so that's only 50 more minutes. And there's plenty of folks on there, more than me. There's some very good techs here who can help you. We'll march you through that. Okay, so Jan Slayer, would you or Mike jump to any certs after that? Oh, Jan, I don't remember what you did before that. CCNA, AWS. Jane, the thing is it Jane Slayer? J4N3. So I'm going to go Jane. In general, most people go A+, Net+, Security+, in general. But like if you lived in Houston, Texas right now, I don't think that I'd have too much trouble getting you a job. I don't even need you to be A+ certified. I just need you to have bilateral symmetry and be able to show up for jobs. I mean, the demand is very high here in Houston. I think it's the same in the United States. I'm not going to say anything about the outside the U.S., because then it'll become a political discussion. I don't want to do that. But the thing is you get your entry-level job. The entry-level jobs are the classic sitting at monitors, help desk, first-level support for security. I mean, they're all basically the same boring jobs, and they all start at midnight and run till 8 in the morning. And trust me, the first thing you do when you get that job, other than a halfway decent health plan and $18 an hour, is you're going to want another job. And you're going to spend a lot of time looking at what's out there, understanding what's out there, even showing up to places like this, just so we can talk. You begin to develop an understanding of where your passions are and what you want to do. If you want to go into Cisco, then yes, you're going to go for CCNA. That's a no-brainer. If you want to get into Microsoft and system administration, you're going to go for your MCSE kind of stuff. It's a no-brainer. If you want to start getting into cloud, you probably go AWS. It's a no-brainer. But what you got to do first, and this is what you do while you got that first entry-level job, is you start researching, you start talking to people. I mean, even a source like what we're on right here with my live stream is a great place to start talking to people. Get onto that Discord. Start talking to people. Find out what you like. Dude, if you have passion for cloud, you're not going to need a class. You're not going to need a certification. You're going to go out there on your own. You're going to open up your own free AWS account. There it exists. And you're going to start playing on your own because you love it, because it's a passion. You don't need to get a CCNA to know that you have passion for Cisco, because you're going to get on eBay and buy one of those. There's tons of these on eBay. You see CCNA teach yourself packages. It's a bunch of old routers and old switches, and but they're great because they still work fine for learning Cisco. And you end up dumping $300 and you get this stack of routers and switches, and you're plugging them in and playing with them 8 ways to Sunday because it's what you want to do. You know, good programmers, I really do believe, are born, not made, because they're the ones who download a JavaScript IDF and start playing with it on their own. Passion. Michael Reeves, I have 2 New Year's resolutions. One is get my Security Plus. The other one is get in the field. All right, do it. You may do it. There you go. I'm happily dispensating you. That's what that means, Michael. Do it. Just do it. Zach Morrell had a question I couldn't answer. Does a VM use a whole core? I don't think so. I mean, no. Okay, first of all, you can't say stuff like, does a VM use a core? It's how they're programmed, how they're written, which would make efficiencies. Now, I would think that would probably be a more efficient way to do it, and I would bet, although I can't prove this, that things like VirtualBox and VMware do something like that. But again, I don't know. They might have some way of spreading where each one uses 3 or 4 cores, or who knows. I don't know what the answer is. That is a programmer's thing. But there is no law that says all VMs will use a core. That just doesn't exist. It's up to the software and how it's developed. The other problem is, do you need a multi-core CPU to run anything? Well, everything's multi-core. I can't even think of, at least in the Intel i64 world, can I get anything under 4 cores? No. So there'd be no way to get a single core to say, see, we can. They almost all need virtualization extensions, which is important. So would you, okay, so Andre, I can definitely answer. Could I only run a certain number on a quad? No, yeah, I'm sorry, but that analogy just doesn't work. Okay, on the, so Scott Jernigan, thank you. Scott Jernigan did some good research on the Security Plus. The Security Plus 501 has not had any updates. I believe you meant the Security Plus 601, which has had some updates. I mean, even from the first 601 that came out. But Scott does tell me that the CompTIA 501 objectives are now gender neutral. So we're all politically correct. Yay. Michael Reeves, I'm liking Azure. Lots of people like it. And Microsoft also. Wait a minute. Scott Jernigan just said, no. I don't know what that means, Scott. Did I say something wrong? I like it too. In fact, Microsoft has a wonderful free account set up for them. And I played with it for about 4 or 5 hours. Very different interface from AWS. Does the same thing, but yeah, I'm not at all against it at all. Was there a cat under the tree earlier? CompTIA updated. Okay, whatever. Sorry, I got to watch Scott Jurgen over here. Mike Meyers is a process. Am I a process? Frank, question. Is there a use case where you could describe adding multiple IPs to a NIC? Can the IPs be in different networks? Wouldn't that be okay. Can you come a use scenario where you could add multiple IPs to a single NIC? Sure. Can the IPs be in different networks? Yeah, but you'd have to do weird stuff like plug it into a hub or something like that. I guess you could... Can I have a single network card with two? No, that's still two NICs. Is there a use case where you could describe adding multiple IPs to a NIC? Gosh, right now I say no, but I'm probably kick myself later. Can the IPs be in different networks? Well, the problem is I'm thinking about this from a cable standpoint, right? So if I have one, I could trivially set up one NIC to have one IPv4 and one IPv6 address, and I could set them up to be in different networks. I can't come up with a possible reason to do that. Wouldn't that be a security risk? Yeah, probably. And why not just install more NICs? Or is it all VMs now? Why not just install more NICs? Generally, Frank, when I have complicated networks that I have like separate physical networks, I would put multiple NICs in. Or is it all VMs now? It's pretty much all VMs now. It's pretty rare to not see VMs, but VMs can be tricky too sometimes. Gosh, Frank, why do you ask this question? You know, it's an interesting question. I like the question, but I'm just curious what you're asking. Dylan Koopman. On Udemy, Mike's material is based on SY0501, but the exam is based on 601. No, it's not, Dylan. That's wrong. There's two exams out there. There's the 501, which is going to be good till July, and then there's the 601, which just came out. If you want to throw your money away, go take the 601, because nobody has any decent training materials out for it yet. And, other than people like maybe Dawn Dunkerley, who has a good book, nobody knows what's on a new exam. It's not like trainers have some special knowledge about what's on the exams that you don't have. We read the exact same objectives you do. The only difference is we get them months before you do, okay? So right now on Udemy, if you want to go take the 601, and you'll probably fail, or you could take well-established training, the stuff's been around for 3 years, and we know the test inside and out like the 501. And here's the other one, Dylan. Nobody cares. At no time in your life will someone come up to you and go, gee, did you take the 501 or the 601? It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So the way you're saying that is unfair to me, and I'm not going to be resentful because I know you're just trying to bring a point across. Both tests are available right now. Both tests are available. Come July, I will also have a 601 course up there. But I don't need to rush it, and I know I can get it right if I wait a little bit longer. Ziggy Ike. Please, can you combine Cisco Net Plus Engineer with sysadmin? Ziggy, I'm not sure exactly which courses you're talking about there. Are you talking about very specific certifications? Or you're going to have to, or any, Ziggy, I don't understand what you're asking me. You have to be more clear. Hot tub thermostat. Yeah, that's me, Alan. Okay, Ziggy. Yeah, Ziggy, I don't combine certification courses. It's just not, it doesn't work well for me. So, sorry, bud, I can't do that. Red TB3 just shows up now. We're going to have a competition today, kids. Just warning you. Eddie Lagos, after 3 years, do you need to retake the test again to keep your certification up to date? You either have to retake the certification or sometimes CompTIA has some form of, what's the word I'm looking for? Continuing education, like you go to certain conferences, that kind of a thing. But Eddie, the more important thing to me is that I would rather see you pursuing, hello, Jack. Kenny. I would rather see you pursuing more advanced certifications than to sit here and just retaking old certifications. And 3 years from now, you should already have had 2 more jobs and have moved forward. Now, if you're in a place, maybe you're in management or something like that, where you're doing the same thing or overlooking, then sure, retake the exams. But, you know, CompTIA would love for all of you guys to retake their exams every 3 years. And I would rather see you go from CompTIA, maybe into Cisco, maybe into AWS, maybe into Certified Wireless Network Professional, maybe, you know, more advanced certifications. And in that case, no, you would not retake them because you've moved past them, you've moved beyond them. Okay. Scott's yelling at me because I don't mention the timestamp. 303, Chris Arkwright. I don't think there is any benefit to stackable certs other than it makes it easier to communicate which certs you have. I use it and have the stackable cert framed up. I like the idea. No, Chris, I don't dislike the idea. I'm just, you know, and you're probably right. It probably is just a communication thing. But I'm going to look into it more carefully because I don't want to talk inaccurately. Oh, Patricia Grace was here and then she left. I didn't even see her. Charlie Uebele. Charlie, I almost couldn't pronounce that. One of my Perscolis people. Perscolis! Hello, Cat. You went up now too? It's Kitty Day today. Oh. Hello, Floofy Cat. This is Jack. He's a flubberhead. I'm just looking for questions here. All right, say hi, Jack. All right, I gotta get back to work here. Don't step on my keyboard, Cat. Serializing that suddenly we could lose. Get out of here. Suddenly realized the cat could step on the keyboard and like shut down the AMA. Red TB, you're flying the drone. You're flying a drone for work. That's interesting. Edwin, hey, Internet Plus. IDS inspects a copy of all traffic in the network and respond to detected intrusions with actions. Isn't that an IPS? Yeah, Edwin, you got to be careful. And IDS inspects a copy of all traffic on a network. Yeah, you got, Edwin, some people still use the term passive versus active IDS, and an active IDS is an IPS. So technically everything that is an IPS is also an active IDS, but no, I'm not going to disagree with you. Yes, it is an IPS. Michael Reeves, if you got them before January 2011, you had them for life. Nobody pays attention to that stuff, Michael. Honestly, the only thing people are going to look at is sometimes they'll say, when did you get a certification? And if you got it like 10 years ago or something like that, people are going to not look at it as hard. But you're absolutely right. It was for life back then. And CompTIA made a big deal out of that. All right, how cute was Jack sticking his nose on the camera, huh? YS, do you have any courses on Certified Ethical Hacker? I took your A+ and Net+. We're very good. You need to take a little, YS, head over to Total Seminars, www.totalsem.com. We have lots of courses. You know, we tend to concentrate on the ones that I teach here on this channel, but we have lots of amazing instructors at Total Seminars, and you need to go peruse over at www.totalsem.com. We have lots of courses out there. It ain't just Mike Meyers. Elaine Batzer. Elaine Batzer. Sonic Wire, the TZ300s. I haven't messed with that particular one, but Sonics are usually pretty interesting. Oh, sorry, this is Elaine Batzer. Sorry, Scott. 325. Sonic walls are interesting, particularly if you can keep the pay every month thing. But yeah, you know, and you don't have the subscription. Gee, Manise. But they're still good. Yeah. Axe. There you are. Tolowit got his Birth Plus certificate in '68. What I was hoping you would mention. Okay, guys. Well, it looks like things are quieting down a little bit, which is no big deal. Let's have a quick competition, though. Anybody want a competition? All right, so here's how the competition works. I am going to arbitrarily pick some practice questions. I think I'm going to grab from our Security Plus test bank today. And whoever answers the question the closest to what I think is acceptable wins. And we're going to be giving away practice questions today. So let me get some Security Plus, Security Plus, Security Plus. Where's the Security Plus? All right. Nope. All right. First of all, who wants a little quickie competition? Somebody type in yes if you're in. Pulling up a question, guys. Bear with me. All right, here we go. You guys ready? Cats are making strange noises. Okay, here we go. Guys ready? Your company installed new perimeter firewall devices. Got that? So you got some firewall device that allows inbound and outbound port 80, port 443, port 389, and port 3389 traffic. Okay? I hope you know your port numbers. So those 4 ports are both ways. The firewall cannot be further configured. That's all it can do. You can't make any more changes to the firewall. Remote users must have an encrypted connection across the internet to gain. Hold on. I'm going to read this one. I'm not sure I like this. Oh, I see it. Okay. All right, you guys ready? Here we go. So you can't mess with it. You got those 4 in and outs, and that's it. Remote users must have an encrypted connection across the internet to gain access to an internal Linux, we'll say web server, although it's not going to make any difference. What kind of device what are you configuring to make this happen? All right? Let's see if anybody gets it on there. It's not a port number, guys. What are we configuring here? Brandon and Russ, you're on the right path, but I need to see more than that. Alice, you're on the right path. I need an encrypted connection. Sean, you're getting close. Okay, I'll give you guys a clue. It is a VPN, but what kind of VPN? There's a lot of different VPNs. I'll give you a clue. It's not an IPsec VPN. It is I need to say blah, blah, da-da. Yeah, I know, it's a VPN, Kevin. What kind of VPN? Yeah, Brandon, don't just type in the word tunneling. Sean, you're getting close. Come on, folks. Zach, you're getting close. You guys are making this way too hard. Diego, the word tunnel isn't in here. What kind of There you go, Chris Menning. That's all I wanted, guys. It's an SSL VPN. All right, Chris Menning. That's right. Think about this. We've got to be able to come in on one of those 4 port numbers. So SSL is port 443, and so that's the way we got to come in on it. Not hard. There you go. Where is it? Chris Menning is the winner. Congratulations to you, Chris Menning. Chris, you have won a 90 or 180 day, it's really up to our marketing people, access to either A+, Net Plus, or Security Plus questions. In order to grab this prize, you have to send an email to Kathy Y, that's Kathy with a K, Kathy Y, so it's KATHYY, at totalsem.com. Scott Jernigan's going to type that into the chat window so you know who to send an email to. You just send Kathy an email saying, hey, I won free access. I want the A+, and Kathy will go, very good, here you go. And it's a total online tool, so that's all you need. So congratulations to you. Let's do it again, Tolowit, blah, blah, blah. Hey, I got to tell you, Brandon, not bad. Not a bad guess for a guy who's never looked at Security Plus. Well done, sir. Let's get another one. Okay, this is an interesting one. It's a multiple choice question. I'm not going to give you guys the answers because to me there's more than one good answer here. And there's probably about 4 or 5 different words somebody could say that I would accept as a good answer. So here we go. Let's do it again. You guys ready for another competition? Let's do one more. You guys ready? Get ready. Here we go. You have been tasked with ensuring that sensitive data is properly removed from decommissioned storage devices. Got it? What do you call this process of making sure data is removed from decommissioned storage devices? There's a bunch of names for this, guys, and I'll accept any of these. There's one that it will show up on Security Plus for sure. Hang on. I'm lagging. Hold on. No. Degaussing is how you do it. Gosh. But degaussing isn't the answer. Degaussing is the tool you use. You know what? I'm going to give it to Brandon Kiley because it is. It's the right answer is data sanitization. But you know what, Brandon? You said sanitizing. I'm going to give it to you because you know what? This is my AMA and I can do what I want to. So, Brandon Kiley, congratulations to you, sir. You won either A+, Net Plus, or Security Plus online. In order to get your prize, all you have to do is send an email to Kathy Y. That's Kathy with a K. KATHYY at TotalSim.com. Tell her you were one of today's winners, and she will send you a link to your free 90 or 180-day access to the free questions. Yeah, Tolowit, you're hilarious. You guys want to do it one more time? I need to see 5 people type in yes, and we'll do it one more time if I get 5 people typing in yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Wow. There's a good question, but it would be too hairy to do. Sorry, I'm just digging up another question, guys. This might be fun. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to put something up on the screen for you guys to look at. All right, so in this case, you're going to have to read the question. We've actually covered this. We've done like 3 videos on this, but I want to see you guys get this. Now, the right answer is going to be a letter of the alphabet. It's going to be A, B, C, or D. I don't need anything written out other than that. Wait a minute. All right. I was just waiting for Tolowit to type in A, B, C, D. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? Here we go. All right, we've got a winner. The winner is Alan Wills. Alan Wills. That's a PowerShell script, right? All right, well done. Alan Wills, congratulations to you, sir. Big round of applause. You are the third and final winner of today's competition. You get either the A+, Net Plus, or Security Plus. In order to retrieve your prize, you have to send an email to kathyy at TotalSim.com. That's Kathy with a K. KATHYY at TotalSim.com, and then say, hey, I'm the third winner today, and I want to either say A+, Net Plus. Tell her which one you want, and she will get that set up for you, and you get either 90 or 180-day access to the CompTIA practice questions of your choice. So, guys, again, thank you so much for competing here today. You know, keep in mind, it's never a fair competition, but I always have fun like this, and I hope you guys do too, and I hope that it helps some of y'all to get some free swag, right? All right, let's see what else we got going here. Brandon Kiley, A. It's Brandon Kiley. It's Canadian, A. You guys know how Canada got its name? So they're all up there up north, and they couldn't come up with a name for their new country, so they took all the letters of the alphabet and they dumped it into a big bucket. And this big old Canuck runs in there. He reaches in. He goes, C-A, N-A, D-A. There's your dad joke of the week right there. All right. All right, guys. Well, I think we've got it all wrapped up here then. Do we have any more questions for today? Otherwise, we're going to have to wait till Wednesday. I think that's wrapping it up. All right, guys. Well, fantastic. Listen, Scott, can you throw the Discord channel down one more time for everybody, please? And I should have that myself. Guys, do keep in mind, first of all, don't forget to like this channel, okay? It's very helpful for us. If you go over and say you like this, you want to subscribe to it, you want to do all that fun stuff. Also, don't forget that we get 50% off. For those of you who didn't win, you still get half off of what's already inexpensive practice questions. All you have to do is go over to TotalSem.com and you get either A+, Net+, or Security Plus practice questions, or A+ and Net+, the performance-based question bundles. And in order to take advantage of those, I always put this down. Head over to www.totalsem.com, head over to the merchant area, grab the stuff you want to grab, and then just before you check out, type in 010421 into the code, and you get 50% off across the board. Scott Jernigan will put that on there one more time for you, and so that should be fun. I don't have any big plans, guys. I don't have any big plans for Wednesday, so this is really an opportunity for you guys to think about maybe some questions you want me to develop a little bit more. And also, I will be on the Discord channel today. I'm going to need a few minutes, but I'll be on by 4 o'clock. That's about 15 minutes from now. And I'll be on the camera, so if you guys want to fire up your cameras, we can chat that way. But if you don't feel like being on camera, that's fine too. And we can talk about people having trouble getting their routers online. That could be fun too. The last thing I do want to remind you guys is that the Discord channel is not mine, all right? It is not associated with Mike Meyers. It is not associated with Total Seminars. So if people are up there, doing non-politically correct things, you can't blame me. It's a bunch of wacky sweat hogs on that channel. So, but they're generally all pretty good guys. Edward, did I leave you a channel? Question? Mike, how can we install an NIDS and network IDS without having special hardware? Can we install it on a PC and configure it to act as an NIDS? Sure, there's lots of questions. And this is hilarious. Edward, you type that and then you say my question was left. That fast. Nev L, do you see me? I see you. I'm trying to think of a quick network IDS solution that's out there. I can't quickly think of one. We'll talk about it on Wednesday. I'll have some kind of NIDS stuff for you guys to be able to play with. It's probably going to be SolarWinds more than anything else. I don't think I can do monitors on Wednesday. I'll talk to Scott about it. We'll see what we might be able to pull off. Maybe. We'll see what we can do. But no guarantees. Other than that, I guarantee we'll be talking about CompTIA stackable certs and NIDS on Wednesday. And, let me put monitors down too. Let me talk to Scott Jernigan, and maybe I'll have him come on and we can talk monitors as well. All right, cool. Guys, I'm going to let y'all go. That is it. Dave wants to remind you that he's going to be doing Audacity on the Raspberry Pi this Friday. Cool. And that should cover it. So, okay, guys, I am out of here. Give me about 10 minutes or so, and I'll be on the Discord channel. But until then, it'll be Wednesday before I see you guys. Please don't forget to be sending in some resumes, for crying out loud. This is ridiculous. I literally have to beg you guys for resumes. Frustrating to me. I'm in Europe. Come on. But these jobs are going to be remote, right? So there we go. Nobify, do I exist? You do. Nobify. You exist. Get on the Discord channel, and then you can really prove it. All right, guys, I'm out the door here. I'll see you all Wednesday. Until then, it's your little Uncle Mikey saying, good night. Good